What is up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Hunter here from Film Nerd TV, and yes, you can read this lower third correctly. And the title, we are talking about the reboot 2017 of DuckTales. Woohoo! I am here not alone. No. I'm gonna start on my first screen with Sean. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Hunter?
I'm good, my friend. And of course, this dude cannot stay away. It's Chance. How's it going, brother?
Going good. Well, you keep bringing me back every time we talk about some news, TV show, a movie. I'm always here, but this stuff. So why the hell not?
Oh yes, the DuckTales reboot. We are a little late on it, but we are going to talk about episode 1, which is titled "Woohoo." Funny enough, and episode 2, which is called "Day Trip of Doom." So let's start with our opening thoughts. So let's start with Sean as the guest. What are your overall thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 and the show in general?
Okay, well, for starters, one of the things that I absolutely love about the new show is the way that they're trying to differentiate Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes,
I think that you know they became very homogenous in the original series, and like don't get me wrong, I have total nostalgia goggles on for that original series because it was what I grew up with. It was, every afternoon I'd come home and that would be the very first thing I watched, basically. But yeah, I think that one of the best things about it is the way that they're trying to differentiate those three. Like, I think that's fantastic. Also, I think that David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck is so good. Oh my God, he's awesome. And also, not to do any spoilers or anything like that, but the fractured nature of Donald Duck and Scrooge McDuck's relationship, I really, really like. And the other things I really love, we'll get to a little bit later.
2?
Pardon?
Full spoilers for episodes 1 and 2, if you want to.
Okay. One of them I'm gonna wait on until we wind up getting to it, just because it's going to be we're going to talk about the end of episode 1 at one point, and
yes,
at that point I will discuss what it is that I really, really love about that. And so I'm just going to keep it brief and short, and we'll move on to who, either you or Chance. And so, yeah, you guys just shoot the shit about it.
Let's go to Chance. Same question as I asked Sean. What are your opening thoughts about the reboot of DuckTales?
I remember way back in 2015 when this was originally announced, they were going to reboot. Wow. Okay, there's possibility that show, because the thing about it was like the way the show was structured. It's one of those things that you can do it again. You just got to put some TLC into it, and yeah, like this is a show. It's one of those things that came out the gate like every. Like it was new, it was retro, it was fresh. It's a great show for, like, if you were a fan of the original, which I was. I know Sean was also. It's also a great show if you aren't familiar with the fun cartoon. It takes old animation style drawing it with like the styles of New Force of Evil or Gravity Falls, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second. The first I've seen it multiple times. And second episode as well. Like, I think so that I haven't liked. And yeah, I think this is one of the better animated shows to come out of the past decade.
Oh yeah,
totally agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. So I'm gonna go to my points. As Chance was saying, I didn't really grow up with DuckTales. To be honest, I've never even seen the original, and this reboot makes me want to go back and watch the original. So I went into this with fresh eyes, and I absolutely loved it. The animation style is something very different for Disney XD and like the Disney in general. It's not really too cartoony of animation design, but it mixes like the comic style art with the 3D animation that I thought really worked. The comedy is what really worked for me. Just when Donald goes on rampages. You have no idea what the fuck he's saying, but you know he's very intense about it. Cracks me up every time. Huey, Dewey, and Louie crack me up because they always get into misadventures, but it seems like they don't cause them as much as Webby does. Webby is one of my favorite characters in this entire show because she's so different. She's one that thinks outside the box. She's really shy. She's not really sure. She's socially awkward because she's been, Beakley has kept her inside the house most of the time, and, she hasn't really got to interact with a lot of people, and, a lot of wacky adventures come out from that. I love the animation. I love the comedy style. The action is really good when it gets down to either the fights with the Beagle Boys or stuff like that, which we'll get to in episode 2. And just overall, the show is entertaining. All right, so let's go into deeper details of episode 1, Woohoo. Sean, why don't you go and give us bullet points of your favorite moments, parts, anything like that?
Okay. Well, for starters, I mentioned this to you guys before we started. My favorite moment in that entire thing was the ghost that wound up chasing after Scrooge McDuck. And he said, "I want the head of Scrooge McDuck."
And he gives him the statue.
And he gives him the statue, the head of the statue, and he goes, "I should have been more specific." That was that.
And then the headless horse gets the head.
Oh yeah, no, and not just that, but like, where did the headless horse go?
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, already I want that character to come back.
I do too. I want that character to come back so much. But I love that moment. The scene where they're riding the golden dragon and he's trying to get into Scrooge's money bank. Oh, dude, that was absolutely fantastic. The moment, obviously, where they're trying to break out of the room, and Scrooge is giving him his bag of marbles, and he just smacks it right on the door. That was phenomenal.
That was a good one, just because like marbles were like the batarang in the original show. You could do a lot.
They really were.
And then they just use it to beat down the door with it.
I got some idea. They just beat the shit out of the door.
I love that moment, mind you. I also don't want to take, like, here's the thing. If I went through every great moment within the first episode, it would be one of those things where we'd be repeating one another at this point. So I'm just going to keep that as, my 3 moments that I really love. And I'm going to put them over to you guys because I think that you guys also probably have some of the similar moments that I have as well. And so I don't want to be, I just don't want this to be repetitive. So
yeah. I'm actually going to go next because I have 2 different ones than you. And while those moments were great and they were hilarious, the one moment where I was really shocked and really like, oh, this is really story-driven, is when I think it's Dewey. He opens the photo, and it's Donald.
Yeah.
It's Scrooge, and it's their mom.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to go somewhere great.
Della Duck.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring this up until we talked about the ending of the episode.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it. But that was going to be my big thing. I was like, Huey, Dewey, and Louie have a mom and dad? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because for 20 years, people have speculated like, are they clones? Where'd they come from? Were they grown?
Exactly.
Mention their parents, like
no,
like they refused to take responsibility and they were just gone.
Oh god.
Yeah. And with how much money Scrooge has, let's face it, them being clones is not out of the realms of possibility.
No, like all the other crazy shit that happens in this town, clones is probably it's believable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Happen. Oh yeah. So yeah, that moment, the one moment I'm trying to think of, is it where they are in Atlantis?
Yeah.
And they're swimming and they're learning the big lesson that Disney usually does, and then they immediately turn around with Huey like
looking up
to the ceiling.
Looking up to see that the Jewel of Atlantis is on the ceiling and not on the bottom of the floor.
Yeah.
Because everything's upside down. Yeah.
Yep. I just love the fact that like they stopped the Disney learning the lesson for this like random like noticing the gem on the very top instead of the bottom. I don't know why, but I just like died laughing at that one. And then one that I think Sean brought up when we were off air. I like the fact that when you first meet Webby, if you look over to the side, there's a drawing of the original Webby in her suit, and it's got an arrow or a dagger right through it.
Yeah.
Like somebody did not like that suit, not like that character.
No.
Well, because Webby she essentially was like, she's that annoying character that's kind of made to just. She's essentially made to bring in a female audience. It made her just so annoying. She's almost unbearable.
Oh yeah.
I think this updated version of Webby is better because, like, yes, I know you get a lot of comparison to Mabel from Gravity Falls. Which that's not entirely out of the question, especially because in the opening you do see her with a grappling hook. There are some big differences.
Totally. I mean, mind you, though. Yeah, I mean, I think Haven has quite a lot to do with Mabel as opposed to Webby in the fact that he has a pet pig. So.
Does he really?
He does indeed. I believe his name is Polly. It's not Waddles, but his name is Polly.
Not Waddles.
All right,
I'll take. On to me now.
Yep. Your top 3 favorite moments.
Okay,
Episode 1.
What I really like about the first one is it's the references to like the old episodes and like in general, like while they're in the garage, like a lamp, which is a reference to the DuckTales movie.
Yep.
Came out in 1990. Another thing, when Scrooge is in that business meeting, one of the vultures, which is another great little joke.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as being vultures, they bring up mentions of Saint Canard and Spoonerville.
Yeah.
Spoonerville is the town where Goof Troop, and also Saint Canard is the place where Darkwing Duck took place, and we already know to come into this series, so now we know that his town.
Really?
Confirmed. Darkwing Duck is going to happen.
Please bring back Jim Cummings.
It's possible. He's still working. It's possible.
You're goddamn right he is. He's got the longest friggin' IMDb page ever, maybe.
You have one more?
Yeah. Something else. Sean, I like the way they're kind of differentiated. The way they differentiate the triplets, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah.
Because like Sean was right, like in the original show, it was essentially like just switch the color and then that's it. But this one, like these three have very. I was like Huey, of course, he's the boy. He's like the Boy Scout. He's the Lotus Scout. He's the one that's like sibling. Then you have Dewey, the middle child.
The middle child.
And then, well, yeah, because like the middle child is actually a thing. Louis, who he's just a lazy dick, which I kind of like about that.
I do too.
Yeah, Dewey's hilarious, and props to also the voice cast is also.
I was gonna bring it up.
Great talent.
I love the voice cast.
You got David Tennant as Scrooge. David Tennant as Scrooge. We already brought up Danny Pudi from Community as
as Huey.
George, of course, from Parks and Rec as Dewey. You got Bobby Moynihan from SNL as Louie. And you got a host of great talent.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Oh totally.
And then what I brought up to Sean was, let me see if I can find it. Oh, never mind. That's episode 3. We'll get to that later. But all right. So we talked about our favorite moments. Why don't we get into stuff that we thought could have been better? Because not every show is perfect. There is some issues with them. So Sean, you want to start us off?
See, this is tricky for me now that I think about it because I did agree to be on this just a few hours ago, but as far as episodes 1 and 2 go, episode 1 I think is total perfection. I think it's everything a DuckTales episode should be. The pacing of the second episode and how much it tries to pander to kids while also being an adult, style comedy in a lot of different ways. Not adult in terms of like a Jim Jeffries style or Bill Burr style comedy, but I mean like something being clever. Like the best way I can describe it is there's a moment in Gravity Falls where Uncle Stan, not Grunkle Stan, but the other one, is talking about how pardon?
No, you're talking about Ford, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that was voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, Grunkle Ford.
Yeah, Grunkle Ford. Okay, so he has a great joke, which really reminds me a lot of the new DuckTales series, which is when he's talking about Old Man McGuckin, and he goes, I recruited him out of this thing that he was doing. All he was doing really was just making computers out in Palo Alto, which, if you understand that joke, is so brilliant. And to me, like, sort of that style of joke defines what's really great about the new DuckTales season. And I found that the second episode just didn't have that level of creativity to it in the way that the first one did. which by the way, if anyone's watching and they don't understand that joke, he was working for Apple.
Yeah.
Like pretty obvious if you didn't figure it out, but yeah, he's working for Apple. But
to be honest, I didn't get that until you told me so.
Oh no, okay, yeah, no, that's what works really, really well about the first episode of the new DuckTales series, and the second episode doesn't tend to follow in stride with that, and so I feel like that's partially what doesn't work about it. Mind you, I love seeing the Beagle Boys because
I do too.
Having grown up with the original series, I love seeing them brought to life in a brand new series. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, that would be my number one gripe, is that it's not as clever as the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Actually, I do have one more pro. In episode 2, whenever the Beagle Boys have Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby, and Beakley and Donald show up, and Donald's face just turns bright ass red.
Oh, that was awesome.
And he just starts circling through them.
Oh, dude, I mean,
I died laughing on that one, and all you see is him just like a blur, just like falling around the Beakley Boys.
Duck and weave.
Yep, the duck and weaves. But going on to negatives, I can only really think of one, and this is just very nitpicky because I love the show, but I do feel like episode 1 felt like 2 completely different episodes, if that makes any sense.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Was it two different episodes, Chance?
Like it was written as 2 episodes, but just packaged them together.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could tell where the cut was, where it kind of felt like it was 2 episodes when they put it together. And my only other nitpick was that the first episode did feel a little too long at some points, but I was always entertained. I loved the writing. I loved everything about the first 2 episodes. So those are really just nitpicks in my eyes.
Although, mind you, the first episode of that was written and it was published as, granted, they were all together as one. They were written as 2 separate ones. They just fed into each other. So for me is and it's been a problem, like not just in the show, like for years. Sometimes it's kind of hard to understand Donald Duck.
Yes.
I have to kind of rewind, like figure it out for myself. On the show fault. That's on the characterization of Donald. Which, first of all, that Donald Duck actually has speech impediments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, to quote Mel Blanc, the only character that has ever worked in animation that you're not able to understand is Donald Duck, and that's it. You know,
because honestly,
the only
what
one.
Donald Duck is saying it's not what he's saying is not important. It's how he's saying it.
Yeah. I mean, mind you, though, with this series, and I'm sorry to be cutting you off in this regard, but there's one specific line at the beginning of the show when he's literally on the phone. He goes, "Crazy old broad."
Yeah.
But if you're not able to understand that, it's not as funny to hear Donald Duck say "crazy old broad." So I do understand where you're coming from, and once again,
it took me a minute to go back and realize
I thought
he said "dirty old broad" instead of "bird."
Yeah, no,
I thought he said "crazy old bird."
See, I thought it was "crazy old broad" from what I heard.
It is crazy old broad.
Yeah, and see,
Sure.
by the way, sorry, Chance. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, continue on. I'm really sorry about that.
But yeah, really, Donald Duck being hard to understand is kind of a problem. Well, not a huge problem, but it's something. And another thing, it seems like they've really improved the character of Webby, but they're putting a focus on Webby, whereas in the first show, she pop in like every 3 or 4 episodes, front and center, and that's not a problem. But liking the evolution she's going to, but there's some points in an episode, and sometimes even at points in other episodes down the line, which I'll get into later. Going on with Huey, Dewey, and Louie because I feel like the first show to second show with them, and I want to see more of it. Granted, the whole thing wrong with more focus on Webby. It seems like they're kind of putting Webby in the forefront a lot.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I can see that. So, since we talked about our favorite moments of episodes 1 and 2, our least favorite moments of episodes 1 and 2, how about we give episodes 1 and 2 a rating between 1 and 5 stars? Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to give the first 2 episodes a 4.9 out of 5. I just feel like the comedy is on point. The characters, I love the characters. I love their chemistry. I love the animation, the adult humor, the kid humor. Everything works except for a few of the nitpick points that I brought up before. Sean?
Okay. In regards to episode 1, I think that it takes everything that the original DuckTales series was in terms of that, adventure, fantastical nature of it, and then adds on something that is really, really adult in terms of Scrooge McDuck and Donald Duck not getting along. That to me is something that we didn't really see in the original series. You know, the two of them having this fractured relationship is something that I think adds so much to this series. And Huey, Dewey, and Louie being in the care of Scrooge McDuck and the tension that that's creating between Donald Duck and Scrooge, I think that makes not only the first episode a perfect DuckTales episode, but it also makes it elevated in a way where it's so much more mature than the original series. So for me, the first episode gets a 5.
Wow.
The second episode gets a 3.9 to a 4.
Okay.
It's not bad, but just comparatively with what it was following, I don't think it did as good of a job.
Yeah. To be honest, I was comparing both episodes as one, but yeah, you can definitely do it separate.
I know you were. I'm just trying to like compartmentalize things.
Oh yeah,
so
I definitely understand that.
If it got an overall score, I'd give it a 4.5, 4.4. So between the two episodes, it would be 4.4 most likely for me.
Chance?
To me, right?
Yep, to you.
Yep.
First episode, because there was a lot of skepticism going into this show, like what they were going to do, what was going to happen. I feel like so that needed to firing on all cylinders, and I think they did that. I think it's infinitely rewatchable. It's a great rush. It's fun. It's exciting. Episode 1 gets a 5 out of 5 from me as well. So 4, Sean's bring up it's not as good as episode 1. Depends though. It's not supposed to be as good as episode 1 because episode 1 is supposed to hook you in.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go on this journey with this characters you're already invested in, and it did that for me. Good, but it did introduce Margot Martindale as Ma Beagle, which I think is perfect.
Yep.
A little higher than Sean. I'll go 4.2 out of 5 for episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
roughly around the same area.
Yeah. So, there you guys have it. Sean, do you want to plug anything before we head out?
Okay, yeah. If you guys want to get in contact with me, if you want to chat or anything like that, I'm on Twitter at @SandbergSean. You can find me on Facebook at Sean Sandberg, obviously. You can join up with the Deep Cuts Movie League if you want to come in and play some, trivia matches about your favorite, filmmakers and or actors. And yeah, I guess you can come and see me trying to get my belt back on the Schmodown app. So that's about it, though.
Chance?
Yeah, you of course check out Full Metal Trivia, which of course I'm a host and admin. Check out World Movie Games. There will be trivia, which I'm a producer of. YouTube channel, Chance the Critic, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChanceWars91.
And of course, like, share, subscribe to Film Nerd TV. Check out Patreon, patreon.com/FilmNerdTV. Look me up on Stardust, just Film Nerd TV. I'm Hunter. That's Sean. That's Chance. And we'll see you guys soon. Woohoo!